here is a popular mistake from 7.6 checkpoint, and it's number 13. And I would just say how a lot of people were working on this problem and they just kind of like magically got the answer without having the correct work. And it's really important because some of you guys made a very important like conceptual mistake. So earlier I was just saying how when you have a division sign, you kind of like flip it backward for the second part, and it's instead of division sign, it's gonna be multiplication sign. Okay, so now I have the first fraction times 1 minus y over y squared minus 2y plus 1. Okay, it got flipped. All right, and then after that, anytime you see a common factor, you can factor that out. So here, what can I factor out, everyone?
Y squared.
Y. So I'm gonna factor out y, and I'm gonna be left with y minus 1. Okay.
Oh.
So when you distribute it, it will become y squared minus y. And here I have, you could factor out as w plus y times w minus y, but you're probably gonna notice there isn't any other term that you can cancel this out with. So I'm just gonna write it as this. Okay. And write the second fraction. And here you can factor the trinomials as y minus 1 times y minus 1. Okay. And here everyone did it fine. Cancel that out, cancel that out. Okay. But some people actually canceled this part out and that part out. Okay. Y minus 1 is not the same thing as 1 minus y yet. Okay. Notice how I have negative 1 here and positive y, but here for my numerator I have positive 1 and negative y. Totally different terms.
Wait, miss, how does that make sense? I don't get that.
So some people canceled out these two terms, but you can only cancel these when they're the exact same thing, like y minus 1 and y minus 1, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that 1 minus y and 1 minus y and y minus 1, they're not the same thing. So you cannot just cancel that out. Okay?
So question?
Yes.
So like, can you turn 1 minus y and just to like, can you just reverse it by just putting a negative at the outside parenthesis?
Exactly. So you kind of have to manipulate it.
You take the negative out.
Right. So if you write 1 minus y, I'm going to rewrite this real quick. I'm going to write it as negative 1. Okay. I'm going to change all my sign. So 1.
Negative 1.
Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. And when I distribute negative 1 to y, this is the same thing as 1 minus y. That's my numerator term. Okay.
But you have to leave out the negative 1, correct?
Yes, exactly. So this is same thing as this. So once you write 1 minus y as negative 1 times this, then, okay, I can rewrite negative 1 plus y. I'm going to just rewrite the order. Y minus 1. Okay. So now you have the same terms on the top and bottom, and now you can simplify like this. Okay. And this is where the negative 1 appeared in your answer. So let's do the rest of them. So, you know, you're going to multiply the rest of them. Okay. And that's how in your final answer you have negative 1 times y is negative y over w squared minus y squared. Because we manipulated the top part. Okay, we manipulated 1 minus y. So we will have y minus 1. So we can simplify. And some people even did this. Where was it? 1 minus y minus 1. Like, some people even canceled out 1 and negative 1 like this. Oh, sorry. Some people even canceled out 1 and 1 separately in your fraction, but this is so not legal. Okay? So, and I understand why someone did that, because if you do that, then you're gonna have answer as negative y on the top, which is what you wanted, but that's so illegal. So you can't do such a step in math, because that's not numerically correct.
And you can't cancel out the same terms on the denominator, right? So if it's y minus 1 on one side on the denominator and y minus 1 on the other side of the denominator, you can't cancel them out.
Was it Sarah? Sarah, can you talk a little bit slower?
Okay. So if there's the two same, like y minus 1 on the denominator on one side and y minus 1 on the other side, you can't cancel them out, right?
Like this?
Yeah.
No, never.
Could you?
Because this,
Okay.
what it means is you're multiplying the denominator times denominator. If anything, you can write it as y minus 1 quantity square, but you cannot simplify
Okay.
like this. Yeah, good question.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one thing that I wanted to go over. Any question?
Ms. Hong?
Yeah, guys, this like manipulating your algebraic expression, it appears a lot, not only in this class, but also in your SAT and later when you go to calculus class. So like manipulating your algebraic expression so that you will get what you want, that's an important skill. So just kind of like try to practice that, okay? Okay.
Oh, okay.
So was there any other question that you guys had from your work?
Can I ask a question about like example 3?
Of course. Example 3 from the same assignment?
From like 7.6. Because in the video, like they were saying how to leave it as the 2 out of the parentheses of like y plus 1, like as your answer, and like they were like you shouldn't distribute it or like leave it as it is. And I was like
Wait, so
kind of confused right there.
William, you are talking about example 3
Yeah,
from
like the
your notes,
answer.
right?
Yeah, like the answer for like 7.6. Like
Okay, so then actually let's do that. Let me bring some. Okay, so this is example 3 from 7.6 notes.
No, ya te dije que no, déjalo, está bien. Ya fue lo mismo que habíamos, no juegas.
Okay, so this one I think is really similar to the number 13 that we just did.
Jugar desde ahorita hasta tarde. Desde ahorita en la tarde no, so ahorita ve limpiar tu cuarto.
And hello, mom. I'm gonna write it as y plus y minus 1.
Get it all cleaned up.
Which one is this one?
Yeah, this is example 3 from your 7.6 notes from the video.
7.6 notes. Okay.
And I kind of had to like, I'm using double screen to kind of go back and forth. All right. So William, I'm just gonna kind of like do it so we can get to the step that you're talking about.
oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave this thing as it is. And here we want to factor the top terms into binomials. And do you see how like us practicing factoring in our previous unit keeps coming back, right? So does anyone have the factor form for the top?
4y plus 5, y minus 1.
Was it 4y plus 1?
Plus 5,
5.
in parentheses, y minus 1.
Okay, thank you. And then we can factor out 2y from both terms.
Mhm.
And 2y times 5y gives me 10y squared.
And
Plus 1.
So from here, now you can kind of see what we can cancel out. Y minus 1 over y minus 1. Okay, so Sarah, we can only do that when it's one term is on the numerator and the other term is in the denominator. And then we get 5y plus 1 over here, 5y plus 1.
Miss?
So I'm left with y times 4y plus 5 over y plus 1. And William question was, what was it?
So when we got the answer, like he was like, don't distribute like the 2. Like,
Oh shoot, we left out 2.
yeah, because you can cancel out. He said you can cancel like the y's on like both sides. Yeah, and like he said like don't distribute in the video, and I was like wondering if you want us to distribute or not. Like, or, do you want us to leave it as is?
It's nicer if you just leave it in this form. And I mean, honestly, if you distribute it back, then that's extra work for you. But I honestly don't mind if you leave it in this form or if you distribute that out. But it is extra work for you when you do that. And whenever you do another step, then you're kind of like likely to make a mistake. And that's what I would like prefer to be factored out. If there's any greatest common factor, you always want to have it factored out. But if you like, no, this bothers me, and if you want to like distribute that out, that's fine as well.